What's up, YouTube Gen X? I'm getting somewhat annoyed with this sort of mentality that we can't critique Red Tails because we should be happy that somebody's doing a film on our behalf, like they're doing us a favor. If the movie does well, George Lucas is going to make money. So it's not like he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart or, some sort of sense of we have to be fair and let's treat black people a certain way. If he didn't see that there was money in making the film, he wasn't going to make the film. So that has to be understood. This idea that, we should just be happy with what we get and let's not say anything is bullshit. The movie was okay. It wasn't a bad movie. Could have been better. And the fact remains, had this been, more so orchestrated by a black person, we would have been hella critical of the film. Let's not sit here and act like, we're not trying to make sure that we're not trying to rub anybody the wrong way. Well, let's not seem ungrateful. Let's be happy with what we get. But Lord knows, if Spike had done the movie, we'd have been on some like, this could have been better. We should have had this. So I'm not going to sit here and sit back and just say, well, we just should be happy with what we have. I don't care who produced the movie or who was behind the movie. A film is a film and it's going to be critiqued. That's just part of the game. Especially a movie of this nature, where it's not necessarily some completely fictional story, where it's kind of like, just go with the flow. Hey, go with the flow. Just have fun. Because I got people talking about, it's just meant to be popcorn and entertaining. Should a movie of this nature ever be on that tip? Come on. It's funny how we're okay when we have sensitive issues that aren't necessarily given that proper respect. And with other cultural groups, they don't play around with shit that's very important to them. Don't come through and make a mockery out of the Holocaust or some other important period that happened with them. But we ain't got a problem with, joking about slavery and other important issues. No big deal. Very annoying. This idea that, it's supposed to be entertaining, popcorn. Well, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, can't we say the same shit about Tyler Perry? Why are we critiquing Tyler Perry then? Because what he's doing is just entertaining, popcorn. So why do we have these sort of, fuck Tyler Perry moments when all he's doing is trying to entertain? Don't take it seriously. No, we understand that the nature of what we have is that anytime you have black people that are represented in film, there's always going to be the element of how are they being represented? What's going on with their character? You know that to be true. But this idea that we shouldn't say anything and just simply be happy and be grateful that we have this movie as if George Lucas was doing something out of the goodness of his heart and not to make money, bullshit. He saw an opportunity. He saw an opportunity. He saw a market that really doesn't exist or hasn't got the attention, and it's like, hey, maybe there's money to be made here. Understand that. This goes into the same shit I said before, a video that I did before about that Chinese girl or whatever that was calling out the bullshit because High Fashion or Vogue had this sort of, now we think Asian women are attractive. And instead of saying, look, white people finally said we look good, let's go with the flow, she's saying, listen, that's fine and all, but we know you're trying to get into our pockets, calling it out. So we're sitting here with a similar situation, not the same, but a similar situation, and you have to sort of just accept it. And a lot of people have this idea that, it's something that we've never thought to do with ourselves. Bullshit, once again. Part of the reason to why we don't have films of this nature, right, these sort of big production, CGI, whatever, because at the end of the day, we're not even sure if we're going to go out and support those films. Let's keep it real. And if you are a black producer, or of that nature, trying to put something together, you know that, if I'm trying to raise capital with the black community, because we definitely have enough to raise the capital for a movie. As far as 2012 goes, no one can sit here and tell me that if we wanted to, we can easily raise enough capital and have some $100 million budget to put on this major production type of film. Come on. But part of the problem is we are skeptical with ourselves in terms of, are we really going to go support it? Are we going to give it that attention that it deserves, in terms of coming out of pocket? And unfortunately, when it comes to not having the ability to raise capital from your own people, right, you sit there and you're like, are we really going to get that support from pretty much the white man and, the organizations that he would pretty much be funding us through? We don't have it. So it's easy for George Lucas to pull on his credibility, right, and say, hey, I have this idea, and use his name to secure those funds. We can't do that. So it's not about us not wanting to do something of this nature. Once again, going back to Spike Lee and all the other producers that we probably don't know of by name who've had these ideas and really want to put it out there. A lot of it just comes down to motherfuckers can't get funding. It's the same shit with black businesses. Malik has this good idea, right? Foolproof business plan. He's, legit, not half-assing anywhere, but unfortunately can't get, he can't raise capital through black folks. It's just not what we do. We just like to have our money and have a nice home and big cars, and that's it. And then marvel at the financial power that white people have. Whereas, here's the white guy who can call up his buddy, hey, I have this idea, I need some funding. Oh, okay, let me call my fraternity brother. He's with Wells Fargo, and we can make some shit happen. He'll make some calls. And in a month, he's secured part of the money he needs. Because he can rely on that sort of network. But we don't have all that. So here's Spike Lee or anybody else trying to do a film of this nature. Right? Damn, I just can't get the funding. But this idea that, this is something that we've never thought to do, so therefore we should just sit back and just be happy with it, get the fuck out of here. We shouldn't critique it, it's supposed to be fun, introductory, or into a new genre or whatever, get the fuck out of here. Stop all that. Once again, because had this fucking been Spike Lee, or anybody else, we would have been on some like, how are we being portrayed? We should have did this. We should have did that. Oh no, George Lucas did it. Let's be happy. Thank you, because we couldn't do it for ourselves. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm not trying to take away any credit from what George Lucas did. I'm not trying to undermine him. I am, appreciative that somebody saw a value in a potential market. So let's understand that. No one is trying to take away from that, but understand at the end of the day, it was still a money-making opportunity for him. Which black people still won't fucking understand. Yes, he came out of fucking pocket for the film, right? But at the end of the day, he's trying to make money. So whether he came out of the pocket or not, he's trying to fucking make money. I mean, that's pretty clear. Hey, I'm doing you a favor, I'm doing something for you. No, you're not. You stand to gain. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, this shit is just so annoying because so much of the talk around this movie almost has little to do with the movie itself. It's just everything else surrounding the film. And this idea that we shouldn't say anything, we should just be happy. You're always going to critique a movie. But I'm alarmed at some of the PMs that I've got where people were telling me, you're taking it too seriously, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, where the fuck were you, or where are you when Tyler Perry does all his shit? How come we're not saying that we're taking it too seriously? These are supposed to be fun, comedy-based movies. But we sit there and nitpick on how we're being portrayed. As we should. No, it is what it is. The movie was okay. It could have been better. They could have put a whole bunch more into it, especially if there's talk about this being some sort of, a referendum, once again, on where we could have, or what the market's going to be for a major market sort of black film. I'm sorry. If this is supposed to be that film, it's definitely not that film. Because there's some issues or there's some issues and some half-assedness with the film. that you have to point out. Could have been better. The overall quality wasn't that hot. And a lot of people have said it. There's some stuff that they missed. Once again, no one is saying that interracial relationships didn't happen. You know, I said that in the first video. People still telling me, oh, that happened. No one is saying that it didn't happen. Yes, that is historically accurate. Anytime you have soldiers on foreign territory, that's going to happen. Young men who are about to die, who haven't seen their wives or whatever, right, obviously still have sexual needs. And there's women there, so shit's going to pop off. Whether, you know, it's just a jump off or they have a child, or maybe they find real love. That's not that far-fetched. I understand all that. But the fact remains that during that time period, these were some of the best and brightest of black men who are away from their families. The wives, the fiancés, the daughters, the sons, the fathers, the grandfathers, the brothers, the uncles, the sisters. These men had a lot of value, right, you know, and they were very important to their families. So that should have been part of that sort of connection. So you can see it, and they could have did it. They could have did that. Let's not sit here and act like they would have to have rewritten the whole story. No, they could have worked it in, just like they worked in that piss-poor interracial relationship that was horribly done. They could have did it. So in a sense, the people of that time got disrespected. I don't care about, you know, what this means for modern day black women. We're talking about painting a picture of that time frame, of that period. That's what we're talking about. And shedding light on what these men meant. Because when you look at the movie, I don't feel like you got an overall sense of who these men were. You understood that these men were smart for the most part, you know, educated, but you didn't get that true understanding. Because you can turn on and watch some white war movie, right, you know, which, you know, I've seen, you guys have seen, and there's always that connection to what they're leaving back at home. Right, so it's understood what they're fighting for. Oh my gosh, this guy's fighting for his little baby boy and his fiancé and his parents and his brothers to get back to them. So if we lose him, whoa, that's such a big hit. They didn't add that component to the movie, and it should have fucking been there. Simply put. There's no ifs, and, or buts about that. It's not about focusing on one black character. You know, so it is what it is. I think, you know, I've said everything. You know, once again in closing, all the talk about the movie is just really showing where we are. Be happy because somebody did something that we were incapable of doing, complete bullshit. Failing to understand that George Lucas, whether he came out the pocket or not, is trying to make money. Right? I don't know. This is just another example of just where we are. Overall, our thinking, our thought process or whatever. And what we're willing to support and what we don't want to do for ourselves. And not understanding what we can do and what we should be doing for ourselves. It is what it is. As far as 2012 goes, you know, we sitting here and acting like we don't have enough successful black folks to put on a production of this nature. As if we're incapable of doing it and we don't have the skill set to do it. Bull fucking shit. I don't fucking buy it. I'm not taking anything away from George Lucas or what he did, right? I do see the value in the film and what it could be and what it could do, but there could have been way more to the film. So that's my video. Just had to add it. You know, I definitely want to move on. I'm done with this topic, but I just wanted to share those final thoughts. Y'all know where to find me. God bless.